I love to worship you. I love to worship you. You have given me so much to be thankful for, and I love you is not enough to express my love. Everything I have inside of me, I give to you. There is nothing I can do. There is nothing I can do. There is nothing I can do but worship you. I love to worship you. I love to worship you. You have given me so much to be thankful for, and my words are not enough to express my love. So everything I have inside of me, I give to you. There is nothing I can do. There is nothing more to do. There is nothing more to do but worship you. Worship you.
Asheo.
My heart longs to behold you, O Lord of the acacia trees. My heart desires to see you, O Amen-Ra. You are the protector of the humble and needy, a father and mother to the orphan, a husband to the widow. Sweet it is to speak your name. It is like the taste of life. Yes, like the taste of bread to a child, like the breath of freedom to the captive. Turn yourself to us, O Eternal One, who was here before any other existed. Though you make for me darkness, yet cause light to shine on me, that I may see you. As your soul endures for eternity, and as your beautiful and beloved face lasts forever, may you come from afar and let me see you. To worship you, O Ra, is good. You are, O Lord, great to seek, for if found, you turn away all fear. Place joy, O Ra, in the hearts of the people. For happy are those who see you, O Ra, and they rejoice each day. Ashe.
Asheo.
Rosé's Sunday celebration. If you are here for the first time, welcome. Thank you for choosing to come and celebrate with us. And if it's not your first time, thank you for coming back to see what's happening this Sunday. We hope you enjoy. Next, we're going to have the affirmation with the Teasley Youth. Could you please come forward, bring us the affirmation.
We will know God's truth to be free and self-determined.
Creator, help us to remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors and to honor the struggles of our elders.
Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us.
Let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, study, and listen so we may learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance.
Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation with discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive to be the living models of the new direction of our people.
We are an African people.
We are children of God.
Ashe.
Good morning, Jose. Akanki and I are going to do a song that I wrote. The first time we ever did it, we had Brother Charles Brown with us on the bass and two ancestors that I miss very, very much. Brother Lee Donald and Sister Teresa Lewis, who was one of the loves of my life. Anyway, if you know them, listen for their spirit in the song.
Music is drowning the voice.
And we can't wait, so follow the way, we'll say, come on, follow the way.
To win our freedom, it's gonna take a good fight. We need to struggle both day and night, and it's never too late. We can't wait, so follow the way, we'll say, follow the way.
We've gotta be strong,
Gotta be strong.
we've gotta fight,
Got to fight.
we've got to pray,
We gotta pray
all day and
all
night.
day and night.
We need commitment,
We need
from every woman and
from every
man.
woman and man. If we're to get back to our sacred land, whoa, go out and
Go
tell
out and tell
everybody else.
everybody else,
No, you can't keep it
no, no,
to yourself, and it's never too late.
never.
We can't wait. Follow the way, we'll say. Follow the way, we'll say.
We've gotta be strong,
We've got to be strong.
we've gotta fight,
We've got to fight.
we've gotta pray,
gotta pray.
all day and
All
night.
day and night.
We need commitment,
need
from every woman and man.
Woman and man.
If we're to get back
To that sacred land, whoa, go out and tell everybody else.
everybody else,
No, you can't keep
no,
it
no, no, no.
to yourself, and it's never too late. Whoa, you can't wait. So follow the way, we'll say. Follow the way, we'll say. Follow the way, we'll say. The sacred way, we'll say. Follow the way, we'll say. We need commitment, we'll say. Every woman and man. Follow the way, we'll say. Follow the way.
Ashe.
Ashe. Woo, leave it to Ty and Baba Ty and Mama Conke to get a little African on us with that one. That felt really good. I wanted to give them a little with that one. That was very nice, very nice. All right, so we are doing a historical tribute. And as you all know, historical tributes and I are like But in order to contribute to what needs to get done, I just have to figure out a way to get it done, Ashe? So what I'm going to bring forward today are two people. With our historical tributes, we say we like to keep 7 to 10 generations of information, influence alive. If we don't talk about it, then we know that others will not necessarily. We often attribute the persons to someone who has contributed to our struggle, but we are not only a people of struggle, although it seems like that's always on the back burner on a low simmer, right? But we're also a creative people. We're also a people of ingenuity. We're also a people of several layers of different types of influence. And so what I wanted to touch on today was under the concept of you don't always have to be Barry Bonds.
Well, come on.
Sometimes you might be Ricky Henderson.
Well,
Sometimes you might be the one that does a stand and slide in the third to get us home, right? Everybody's not going to be the one to knock it all the way out of the park. And I got that from going boom, boom, fly, in case you didn't know. So what I want to talk to today is about the fact that if it's an elephant, what is it they say? In order to eat an elephant, how do you do it? One bite at a time. So we're going to talk about a few bites. So I'm going to start with William Dietz. And Baba Jeff, I think, has got my back on a visual for you all. I'm going to put my glasses on so I have a visual for myself. William Dietz is a person who did a patent not for the shoe itself, but for an improvement on the shoe. And it's called the shoe boot, right? And let me see. So he's got two things here. No, that's not quite right, but that's okay. We'll get there. So the Dietz is the person who did the improvement on the shoe boot, or the improvement called a shoe boot. And what he did was, at the time, ladies' boots in particular opened either from the side or from the front. And what he did is he made a change, and that's what you're seeing in that picture there, to where the boots would open from the back, right? And what he did was there's an opening, and there's what we know now as a shoe tongue that comes up in the middle of that opening. And then he wrapped that leather piece around and had it close on the side. So visually, the shoe looked very similar to what most of us know as spats, that low ankle boot that has the little buttons coming up the side. But the change was that rather than trying to get into it and close it from the side, it closed from the back. So we're talking about a little ingenuity. And it also had that tongue in there so that you didn't have those lacings or those buttons rubbing against the back of your foot or your ankle. Now, ladies, as you know, all depending on the size of your ankle or your calf or all of those different things, a boot zipping up from the side can get into a little bit of trouble, you know, because we vary in those ways. But when we have a shoe that we slip our foot into and zip it up from the back, short of a fat heel like I've got, it typically is going to work out a little bit better. So this was a huge improvement in the way that boots were designed, and it increased greatly in the sales of boots and in the ability to get them on a lot easier. And I'm going to come back to Dietz in a moment, but the next one I want to move on to is Jan E. Matzeliger. Now, I'm not saying that right because his last name came from Dutch origins, and I'm applying a German accent, but don't worry about it. You can look it up if you want to Google how do you properly say it. He is the person who did the shoe lasting machine. Now, many of us who go to, well, when we could go to cobblers and get our shoes worked on, we would see the shoes up on a machine that was holding it steady while they were doing the work on it. His machine originally was the one set up to where you attach the sole of the shoe to the makings of the shoe. So that's kind of like the primary function. If you just have the shoe and you don't have the sole that it's attached to, you kind of don't have a lot going on. So that was a major functioning within the shoe, is the lasting machine. And in doing that, this was what took it from being able to make, say, 50 shoes in a day to being able to multiply that by 10 times. So, you know, you add that 0 to 50 and you know where you end up when we multiply by 10, right? And then we were also able to double what was being made as far as income from shoes. He was a son of a Black father, son of a Dutch father, and a Black Surinamese mother. Now, if you all don't know where Surinamese people come from, I encourage you to look it up, as I did when I came across that word, and I was enlightened to a whole nother segment of our persons. So I will say again, Surinamese, Surinamei, AKA Black folks from other parts. He began to work as a sailor on a merchant ship at the age of 19, and after about 6 years settled in Lynn, where he found employment in a shoe factory and became interested in the possibilities of lasting shoes by a machine. He was working alone at night for 6 months. He produced a model on wood, and then on March 20th, 1883, received an actual patent, which is what you see in the top, in the right middle, say, of that picture that you're looking at, for his invention. And he won swift acceptance within 2 years and had largely supplanted the hand methods that had been done prior to that of lasting shoes. He also received several other patents in the shoe manufacturing industry for machinery, and including an improved model of the very first lasting machine that he had done. And again, I honor these two people because you do not have to always jump in and try to eat the whole entire elephant. There are small pieces, medium pieces, tiny pieces that you can take on and be a part of moving forward. They say that history is identified by days, minutes, hours, even seconds. What I said just a moment ago is now a historical record, right? So you can jump in at any time, as we like to say with double dutch, just find your rhythm and jump in. I want to tell you a little bit more about Dietz before we go, and that is partly from his obituary. So just bear with me because it's necessary, because I want you to see if you hear what I heard when I read this. William Dietz had died at 84 at his home after illness. He was born on October 31st, 1891. He was the son of late H.C. and Etta McClung Dietz. He was a retired teacher and an electrician. He was a member of the West Virginia Retired Teachers Association and the National Association, American Association of Retired Persons. He was a 32nd degree Mason. He was a member of the Longdale Masonic Lodge number 14 at Lookout. He was a member of the Anstead chapter number 134 Order of Eastern Star. He held membership in the Scottish Rite Bodies in Charleston. He was a member of the Benny Hiddam Temple in Charleston and was a member of the Moose Lodge in Oak Hill. Now I have to take a deep breath right there, because this was definitely a man who took many bites of the elephant in order to chew it well and get it done, right? So again, I wanted to bring these two men forward, but my word to you is that don't worry about whether or not you can take on the whole thing. There's not lots of us at the moment, but there's enough of us if everybody just took a chunk and chewed it well. Now to that, I'm going to say special thank you today, and I hope they're here to hear me, to Baba Hale, who provides me on a daily basis with these snippets of information to share with you. Baba Hale, my love goes out to you. And I also want to give a very, very, very special and heartfelt thank you to Mama Ngina, who on a daily, which transitions into weekly basis, fills the slots on our schedule of who's doing our affirmation, who's doing our different roles that we need filled. And she does it diligently. She chews her bite well. You don't even necessarily know that she's involved unless you're behind the scenes. So I'm bringing the light to her right now to say thank you for taking your bite and chewing it well, Mama Ngina. So with that, that closes our historical tribute. And I'm going to give a big ashe. Let's hear some more music.
Morning again, we'll say. So you've heard one of my songs. And now I want to do one of my two favorite songs by the most prolific songwriter in Wose history. And so this song is in honor of and in tribute to Minister Michael Easy.
I am you, Father of creation, Mother of inspiration, Spirit of liberation.
I knew your truth has made me free. My heart belongs to only thee. You are my destiny. My life was once a prison, filled with ignorance and fear. Traducer blinded my eyes. No truth, reach my ears. Somehow I heard the story, the sacred way of glory. Then the chains fell away from me. Your truth set me free.
I'm yours, Father of creation, Mother of inspiration, Spirit of liberation.
I'm yours. Your truth has made me free. My heart belongs to only thee. You are my destiny. The way may not be easy, but freedom never comes free. I'm pressing on with perseverance. Oh, I'm working diligently, because the future is for struggle. The children must know divinity. I know I'll never walk alone. I'm in right, you walk with me, and I'm yours. I'm yours. I'm yours. I'm
Beautiful, beautiful.
I love it. I hadn't heard that in a long time.
You know, that is one that's for the records. I mean, every time I hear that, I see the Malcolms in my head in the background. I see the Martins. I see Baba C, I see Mama Honey, I see Mama Ty, I see that as really being a song that's so representative and has such a wonderful tone of so many things past and present. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Next, we are going to have the Litany of Sacrifice brought with Mama Fania and Baba Karabasi, and then that's going to be followed by the message of Mama Fania and Baba Karabasi. If you would please come forward for our litany. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Wose community.
Good morning.
I'm Katabazi, and I'll be doing the litany with Sister Fania, and it is a pleasure. The Litany of Sacrifice is a time where we take the opportunity to give back to the community a portion of that which we have received. We'll say it's a community that's been around for 42 years, and we're self-sufficient. We are sustained by our memberships, and we have a building, we have a school, and with that comes various expenses. And so whereby none of us receive a salary, all of our contribution goes back into the community. And this morning's inspiration reading comes from the Hosea. And oftentimes what I'll do, I'll look for a certain passage, and other times I'll just open the Hosea up and just see what it opens up to. And such was the case this morning. I opened the Hosea to page 96. And there, in passage number 7, by Neb-Nefuru, was a prophet of Amun-Ra. And he says, I live on earth as one who gave guidance and work to the unaware, who instructed the craftsmen by the rules, who knew what to say when speaking in the palace, who erased wrong in every situation, who pleased God with cleansing. I spoke to the people in a manner they lacked and judged everyone according to their character, giving attention to what they wished. So that reading comes from the Hosea, page number 96, passage number 7. Those of you that have Hoseas, if you want to go back and reread that for yourself, that's your reference. And now we have the Litany of Sacrifice. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We will praise your name, O Amun-Ra, for it is good. Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Kujichagulia, self-determination. We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sister problems shall be ours to solve together.
Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Together we shall build and maintain our own businesses and together profit from them.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and development of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness.
Kuumba, creativity. We shall do as much as we can in any way we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
Imani, faith. We will believe with all our hearts in our God and our people.
and in the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Ashe.
Ashe. You have on the screen the various locations where you may send contribution, you may send your sacrifices. You can send them to WOSE Oakland, wosecommunity.org, or WOSE Sacramento, wosesac.com. There also appears the street addresses for the Oakland address, 8924 Holly Street, and a P.O. box for the Sacramento WOSE chapter. So there are different ways, and once you go on through the various links, you will see PayPal, Cash Apps, and different ways that you can also make contributions to the various organizations that you see before you. And so, be guided by your spirit, be guided by your heart. And I will take a moment and offer a short prayer to close out this litany of sacrifice. O Holy One, divine creator, ancestor spirits, forces seen and unseen, known and unknown, hear my prayer. Thanks to each and every one who made contributions, to those who had and those who did not. We thank those who gave of their time and their energies and doing the work of the community, putting together this Zoom production, working in the COE and working in various subcommittees to go about taking care of the business of the community. And oftentimes this is work and activities the other 6 days that you don't see here on Sundays, but know that the work goes on. And we thank you, O Holy One, for those that are willing to work, those that have put themselves out there and offered themselves to work in the behalf of the community. We do not take it for granted. And we thank each and every one. We thank those who write songs and present for the community, for the diligent work that Brother Jeff does behind the scenes, and Minister Imhotep, and so many others that do a lot of the work the other 6 days that you don't see here on Sundays. And so we thank you, O Holy One, for these workers. And we thank you for their families that support them, to give them the time and space to dedicate themselves to this work. We ask, O Holy One, that you be with us through the remainder of this service, that you be with the one that will bring a message, that will bring a word. And we ask that each and every one open their hearts, their ears, and their minds to receive that message. Be with us as we go forward throughout the day and throughout the rest of the week, and return us safely to this place again called WOSE. This is my prayer. Ashe, Amen Ra. Ashe, Amen Ra. Ashe, Amen Ra.
Ashe.
Ashe, Amen Ra. I couldn't help it. All right. WOSE, get your pencils, your pens, crayons, highlighters, notepads, recorders. Kick your shoes off. If you got on slippers, kick them off. You got on your high heels, kick them off. Just kick them off, kick them off, kick them off, kick them off. Wiggle your toes in your carpet and get ready to let Ra do some work. Gonna bring forward my brother. I'm gonna be consistent and say whose shoulders I lean on. Whose shoulders, as the ministerial community, we often go to consult and ask a question, bounce off an idea. What do you think? I ask you to open your mind's eye, because sometimes the mind can trick us, but open the mind's eye. Open your hearts, Let the light shine on Minister Mally Latham. Bring forward the word, bring forward the message. Ashe.
Well, 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 well. Welcome, 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 welcome. It's raining outside, drizzling, but it's not doing that on the inside. On the inside, we have some sunshine going on. It's an excitement and a privilege and an honor to be able to gather together. It wasn't that long ago when coming together was an auspicious type of thing. There was a time when more than one of us together was cause for concern. And not just from them other folks, but also from our own folks who used to see a group of us together and wonder, what is they up to? And it wasn't always considered that we was up to a good thing. But understand, even with it being drizzly and a bit gray, we're up to a good thing. Ashe, ashe.
Ashe.
So I wanted to have a physical honoring of International Women's History Month. And if you see before me, there is a beautiful painting that has a woman on it.
Yeah.
A sister.
Yeah.
A lot of times when we honor historical things, we tend to focus on celebrities.
Yes.
People that are already in books, folks that might be, unless we let Florida have its way, be a part of a lesson or a curriculum where we might hear their names mentioned.
Okay, now.
But that's not the only heroes and sheroes, particularly the sheroes that we have, that we need to remember and honor. It's just some regular folks.
Yeah.
Some women folk who on a day-to-day do what's necessary. And that's the only reason many of us are here today. Ashe. So I just wanted to, along with my message, to honor the regular woman. And if you see that regular woman,
Yeah.
you notice there's a large heart.
Okay.
See, now there might not be a whole bunch of men who want to admit it, but if not for that large heart,
Yeah.
many of us men might be still sitting somewhere shaking our heads, alone by ourselves. Because if not for the love,
Yeah.
if not for the caring and sensitivity of the woman, where would us men folks be? And I know I ain't by myself. I might not have a whole bunch of y'all saying it out loud, but I know that that is one of those things that we truly appreciate.
That's right.
And the heart of the Black woman
Yes.
was taking us so far.
Come on now.
It don't mean that men folks don't do nothing.
Right.
And remember, I'm one of the folks that always fuss about how they always seem to do a whole lot for Mother's Day and very little for Father's Day. So it ain't like I'm biased towards the women folks, but understand it's that regular, everyday loving.
Come on now.
That-
Yes.
That's why I can stand where I stand.
All right.
I had a mother and an auntie that loved me regardless.
Right. Come on.
I have sisters, 6 of them, who get me back and forth. And they have to love me, because if they didn't love me, I sure wouldn't be here to talk about
All
it.
right.
Understand, I got daughters. I got women who remind me on a daily basis. If not for their heart,
Yeah.
who could I be as a man? So I just wanted to set the proper mood, to put us in the right place. Because today I'm going to talk about one of my ongoing topics,
Okay.
and that's about healing.
All right.
And I want to talk in particular about healing in the hood. Oh, y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't even want to feel me, but I'm gonna do it anyhow. Healing in the hood. And part of the healing is to remind us about that woman and the relationship we need to continue to have. Because we ain't gonna get healthy if all of us don't get healthy. And we can't get healthy in parts. It's like with that comment and that illustration that Minister Ronald was talking about. You ain't gonna eat the whole elephant unless you start with the pieces. And part of the major pieces is how we get our healing on. Can I take you there this morning? I just need to know. We're gonna go there whether you want to or not, but I just want to know if you're ready to roll with me this morning. Is that all right? I say? So let me start with a bit of a praise. It's found in the book of Hosea, page 18, stanza 4. My heart longs to behold you, O Lord of the acacia trees. My heart desires to see you, Amen Ra. You are the protector of the humble and needy, a father and mother to the orphan, a husband to the widow. And then this third stanza. Turn yourself to us, O Eternal One, who was here before any other existed. Though you make for me darkness, yet you cause light to shine on me, that I may see you, as your soul endures for eternity, and as your beautiful and beloved face lasts forever. May you come from afar and let me see you. To worship you, Ra, is good. You are, O Lord, great to seek. For if found, you turn away all fear. Place joy, O Ra, in the hearts of the people. For happy are those who see you, Ra, and they rejoice each day. That's a healing message. Seek your joy. Look for it. See, that's what started the beginning of the basic healing process. I know you would rather it be some magical terms. I'm sure you would want some chants and rituals to make it happen for you. But it starts simply like a good meal. You don't need all the fancy accoutrements. You know, a fork and knife is pretty much the starting point. And if you get a spoon, that's a bonus. Understand? But you start all good meals the same simple way. Seek it, and you usually will find it. That's the opposite side when it comes to the negativity. If you're looking for trouble, it will find you too. And that's our beginning part about this healing. I know you was expecting me to give you this magic recipe of how we gonna straighten ourselves up and how we gonna get all fixed up. I know you was, but understand the healing that's gonna need to be done in the hood also needs to be done for us, the members of the hood. Let me share with you another little piece. It's found in my new Bible, the Mott. See this here? My minister sister Rhonda turned me on and I can't turn off. Ever since I had seen this book, and then Mama Pam gave me a copy, oh, I'm on. Understand, y'all? Here it is, page 215, second paragraph. Cultivating intelligence of the heart develops over time through discipline, humility, and adherence to a code of ethics that guides your decisions, thoughts, and actions. Now, don't let that scare you. Please don't let them words get you a little nervous. It may sound a bit challenging. It may sound a bit like, ooh, that might be a little too much for the kid. And you're asking about a whole lot of things that maybe a little beyond me. The truth is, anything that is worthy of accomplishment will take effort. And I ain't gonna undersell that. It was a 67-year project to have me sitting here, standing here with you today. That didn't come easy. And still a work going on. A work in progress, but it takes progressive work. You know, you got to eat that meal. It might take you a little bit of time. The best meals do, because you get time to slowly savor the flavor. And then you enjoy the whole process. I don't want to get some of y'all distracted, but understand, those are what we're talking about when it comes to healing ourselves. It is a time-honored process, and it's done intentionally. But there are some guidelines. Yeah, so let's go to my notes. There are some guidelines. First and foremost, let's look at where we want to get the healing done. And that is at 3 levels, but it's holistic. Yeah. But guess what? It ain't just this circle. It's a circle that is also has internal parts. Okay. There's these quadrants, these parts. So it is a wholeness, but it's also in separation that makes it complete. Yeah. So if you only do one quadrant, you ain't done the job. And it'll show up in you. Because if you only been focusing on one of them things, like maybe you got caught up in your academic, okay, I'll go ahead and say, your academic pursuits. Yeah. Fine and good, yeah, but that ain't the whole job. Right. Maybe you got really good at making money, right? Pay your bills, but that ain't the complete job. It has to be a completeness that is balanced. And the balance is like this. Right. Come on now. That means all parts are equally taken care of. I hope y'all with me. Because see, that balance that we normally are told and talked about ain't the balance that really truly is balanced. Based on principles that allow you to, on one hand, take care of this part of your life, and on the other hand, handle those parts of your life in equal measure. All right, and we just starting to talk now, because understand that balanced approach means we got room for stuff. This ain't just about us meeting on Sunday. It just ain't about being so serious while we in service. It also means there's things we're gonna do during the week, but also we can have fun. Oh, you didn't hear that? See, celebration, appreciation, all of that is just as important as that serious discipline. Because I'm gonna tell you, maybe y'all didn't get the memo, but there'll be plenty of times for you to be serious. There'll be plenty of time for you not to be all that energized and happy and engaged. We got many members right now that see the other part of life where people are lost. Folks struggle. There are hardships, there are challenges. So when you make a success, please understand, yes, you should enjoy it. Yes, you should appreciate it. Yes, you should celebrate it. So rituals, celebrations are important. It's just got to be in balance. You don't want every day to be a wedding, but you don't want to be every day to be a funeral either. The balance of it is that I can appreciate those ups because I handle those downs. When you're talking about healing, it is a balance to looking at life. You don't get all of one thing unless you're out of balance. With the principles of mind, there's a right order, there's a harmony, there's reciprocity, and there are other things. I'm only going to dwell on 3 this morning, if y'all just permit me. But understand, the balancing is how do we get good measures of all of it. You don't do everything every day, and you surely, well, you might, but I just don't know if you can be perfect with any of it. But I would hope that you are motivated to attempt to do the best with what you got on a daily basis. And I would imagine if you're striving to do your best, every day is an improvement. You wake up and get another shot at it. That's what I was told. The old folks always used to say, a day above the ground always beats a day below. So if you come out above the ground, that's your shot. I say, and I don't know about you, but I've had plenty of times to be miserable. I've had plenty of times to not be so happy. So if I'm above the ground, and like you say, in a reasonable sense, have a reasonable amount of sanity. May not have all the greatest sanity, but a reasonable in my mind, oh, that's a celebration moment. Because I have known times when it wasn't. Now that might just be me. I might be the only one. But no, there was times when waking up was a challenge and being in my right mind. Okay, it was just me, all right? There is an approach to healing that we are responsible for, because the first step in any journey is the one you take. You take personally. And so healing in the hood starts with us in the hood. I hope that ain't too challenging for folks. But understand, when we talk about that healing, we talk about a balanced approach, it should be reflected in you. It's great, like I said, not to be against any intellect, because I'm a college graduate. Okay, it's okay to have degrees and certifications. I have some, but understand that that alone doesn't mean you're healthy and wise. No guarantee. And not even like a requirement. If you look at one of the chapters in the book says a religion is not a requirement for moral living. I apply that to this principle. Intellect is not a requirement, but to appreciate and live in a balanced manner, the code of ethics. You don't have to have a particular degree. It doesn't mean if you have a degree, you're disqualified, but it don't automatically fill the requirements. Uh-oh. I ain't taking it back. See, because you see, when it comes to healing in the hood, there's an out there, and then there's an in here. Come on now. And if both of those aren't in harmony, then there is no right order, and therefore no reciprocity. Oh, y'all coming with me? I know that the ones in the house, but I hope the rest of y'all on Zoom are coming with me too. Yeah, I'm gonna say it again.
We're with you.
If you're okay, thank you for that. If there is no right order built off of harmony, then it cannot be any right order that leads to reciprocity. The balance is made because of how we approach this whole thing, starting with us, but not ending with us. If you heal the hood, then first of all, you got to be a healthy participant. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah. See, it's nice for me to go into the passage and read about the code of ethics. But if I ain't practicing none of them, see, then I'm not a healthy participant. And therefore, how can I help with the healing process and when I dare be sick myself? Ill to that point. And sick people only do well with sick people. They don't help other people get well. Now they can be a great example of what not to do. Come on now. Uh-oh. Let's say it. That's why the divine is the divine, because he allows both peoples to exist together. The unhealthy and the healthy work together. But which side are you gonna be on? Come on with me, Sydney. See, like, I speak for me. I ain't gonna speak for nobody else. But there was a time when I was on that other side. unhealthy was my friend. And I couldn't understand how come I couldn't make these healthy decisions that would help other people. Well, maybe it's because I didn't apply them to myself first. I don't know about y'all. I can't speak for y'all. But understand, if we're going to be honest, if we're going to be thorough, if we're going to be effective, the healing starts with us, within. Then you can do things on the out. There is a resolution that we need to come to in our relationships. And it has to be based on principle. Come on. Y'all, see, I don't care how old you are. Come on, even a child has a sense of right and wrong. Uh-oh. See, only when you get older do you debate right and wrong. But children understand when they're wrong. And they need older or experienced people to guide them through that. Not because they haven't made mistakes, but because of their mistakes, they've learned. Because everyone will make mistakes. Children understand they're wrong. Adults are the ones who either teach them how to fake the funk or to lie. Children are not liars. Children can be misinformed. They can be undereducated. But adults are the grown folks, because the lie is a dishonest position with the truth. Young people are yet to really understand the truth, but as other folks know, come on, we can see it in our own attitudes. And a lot of times we used to foster those behaviors that we had picked up on, where you just be kind of quiet and don't say nothing because that's grown people stuff. And then we eventually become those grown people. And in our balancing, we should learn better and then do better. And we should also speak better. And we should also behave better. We should also be willing to say when we are out of line. Uh-oh. Come on. All right. If we're going to talk about balance, then we know we have no problem asserting when we're right. But how honest are we when we're wrong? You mean to tell me we are never wrong? We never make mistakes? We don't misinterpret stuff? We don't take things the wrong way? Understand, it isn't that we not have those experiences in balanced harmony, right of order. We have to acknowledge those things equally. When we are in pocket, let's pop our collars. But when we out of pocket, tell on our own self. And then we don't have to be upset when somebody tries to point it out for you. I walk away a little bit. I see the steam coming out of there. I understand that might be a little too close to comfort for some people, but understand, we're talking about how do we heal ourselves? And we have part of the tools given to us by birth. The divine created us with a piece of the divine. Without it, we wouldn't have a chance. All that conversation would be empty. All that preaching and praying would be flatline. If we don't have the divine in us, what's being touched? What's being woken? How do you have a conscience? Why do you would do right or wrong? Somebody tell me, please explain to me. Because empty people have no base to even point to. How could you say, I want to follow the sacred way if I have no sense of what it is to be sacred? Uh-oh. questions that maybe you want to look in the mirror to get some answers for, because they come from within. There's out there, but the biggest work, the most challenging work is in here. Because guess what? I can fake it in front of y'all. Please I tell you, there's more flim flam artists than there are for real people. That's just the truth about where we are today. And many of them stand in pulpits. Many of them come disguised as truth bearers. But the honest part of the deal is we should know better. We really should. It ain't like we new to this, because the divine has gifted us with discernment. Whether we choose to turn it on or to leave it off, that's personal choice. That's personal choice. And that's the thing about being independent, grown people. There's another adjective I love to add to that grown part. But yes, sister, I will. But understand, being grown, I got an option. I can keep the switch off. But it is a switch there. I do know right from wrong. Whether I choose right or wrong is on me. Now, there are some conditions. We have what they call extenuating circumstances. We are in a society that's sick, that's toxic, and it really benefits keeping us sick. Y'all don't hear me? Oh, yeah. You know, see, I don't know nobody, maybe some of those who have attended Ulioma Day, that are born in a healthy situation completely. Even, I will speak for y'all parents, but even the best of our families have some toxic positions in it. And many of us prove it because we become 60, 65, 70, and still mad. Just me, I guess. But there are people walking around still mad about 1958. There are folks still divided in families because you didn't treat me right when I was 5. And now you're 65 and you're still carrying that burden. And I'm telling you, one of the reasons why we want to invest in healing. See, the hood is sick because there's sick people in the hood. And guess what? They ain't just running the streets. Many of them are in our homes. Many of them are part of our family. Some of them was us. Just me, not any of y'all. Let me not accuse y'all. But understand the healing process about bringing in these principles from Ma'at. You can understand harmony. You get together, you be together, and you stay together. Doesn't mean we have to see eye to eye on everything. With right order, you take steps. In step, out of step. But you take steps together. Reciprocity, you gain as you give. See, there's this dynamic. There seems to be contradiction, but it's this exchange thing. You gain by giving. And I know that sounds contrary, but understand, when we think about giving, we think about it in isolation. We think about it almost sacrificial, but we don't think it's supposed to be a return. The principle written in the Hosea, written in the Ma'at, is an exchange, not a one-way dynamic where I'm giving up stuff because maybe later I'll get some stuff. It's an exchange. I give because I have also received before. And now I want to give, I want to share because it's so good. I don't want to keep it to myself. And none of us could be here if that hasn't happened. If we were all walking here burdened by no success, no gifts, no blessings, we wouldn't show up anywhere. Because some of us are born when we got blessings, but none of us are going to take those misery times and just walk around. We usually keep them and they burden us. Reciprocity says, I'm going to share because there'll be a time when I'm going to need to get back that which I have been able to give out. We've all benefited from that exchange. Well, we all have not practiced that dynamic in a healthy way. See, that's different. In a healthy way. See, we got a whole bunch of people who like to sacrifice. Yeah, we got a lot of folks that work very, very hard. No pay, no recognition, no accommodation. That's great. And organizations love that, but that's not reciprocity. And eventually you have a bank account where you don't even appreciate having one. Eventually you get wore out. Eventually you just don't want no more. You know, yeah, thank you. I did such great work, 30 years, and then you just done. And that happens when it's not reciprocity. See, we can't just keep on practicing that one-dimensional, one-way, giving it up, because sacrifice is not ultimately the goal. It's supposed to be a mutual benefit. I'm gaining, you're gaining, we're all gaining, but not at the cost and the price of someone over here wore the hell out.
Come on now. Yes.
Ain't that something? Ain't that something? And that comes from that Christian dynamic that we've been misled by. Because guess what? There's a benefit plan for those who let you do what you do as you sacrifice. One, I ain't have to sacrifice nothing, you do. And I get to be healthy enough to enjoy the returns. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. That's why you don't see many pastors and stuff retiring. They usually pastor until the grave calls them, because the benefit package is just so good. They don't want to let it go. You got to drag them out the church because they ain't volunteering. We're practicing some of that same old behavior because there's a miseducation that benefits the teacher. And that teacher is a culture larger than us that loves to keep telling us about being good people in the face of misuse and abuse, in the face of being traumatized, hurt, damaged, and we still keep finding ways to forgive them and to forgive that. As the saying, forgiveness is great. To forget and forgive is divine. But it's also a problem in the forgetting. See, if only you do is forget, so the next time you get more, then you have set yourself up for perpetual trauma. We wonder why we're in what position we're in. Do we wonder why the hood seems so out of pocket? Well, what have we practiced? What have we challenged? What have we changed? We do a lot of things that feel good for the moment.
Come on now.
But do we have things that last? Very rarely. That's why WOSA is to be celebrated, appreciated, and enhanced. Y'all gotta hear that all together. It's gotta be celebrated, appreciated, and enhanced. Because what we're participating in is rare and precious and invaluable, and it's a resource for folks like us to get well. See, we get healing in the hood when we have institutions of healthy living. Now, it doesn't mean that people in the house is all perfect. In case you didn't know, understand The house is filled with humans. And those humans, mostly, that's why we even come here, is because we're victims. We have been abused for a long time, several generations. And some of us have woken up and said, no more. And that's a beautiful thing. It alone starts the process. But then once we get here, it's just like a thing that I was talking about in a church that I had formerly belonged on. If you invite everybody in the door, what they gonna see when they come through? And that's what we'll say has to enhance. It can't just say, come on, we'll say grow. Come on, let's all be in the house. Come on, let's do this. It also says, what are we inviting people to? And they ain't gonna look in your books. They're not gonna read your manuscripts. They're gonna look at you. The people teach the message way more than any of these books. Thank you, sis. I'm almost done. Thank you. This is a topic that's close to my heart because I've had to live it myself. Understand, this didn't come out of a sermonette. This didn't come because I was taught some great things, although I did have some excellent mentors. Me and my brother Sidney have known some great men that have been in a position to teach us in college and out. It's the life living that gives us that University of the Street PhD. Living a life teaches you a whole bunch. And you don't want to cast that to the side. It should also be the foundation for why you understand how important it is to continue the healing process. You don't jump it, start it, and roll with it and be done with it. Actually, it might follow you all the way to your grave. If it's a healthy thing, it should. I'm okay with it being that way. The challenge is not us simply looking out there. The challenge is to look in here, to come in with it. I'm not gonna keep pushing at you. I know we got a limit to how much of this food we won't take you. But understand there are 3 areas I want you to challenge about your healing. And that is your attitude, your beliefs, and your stances. See, attitude is more displayed than it is spoken to. People come into contact with your attitude before you even say something, before they even notice where you may be. Your attitude presents you. And your beliefs are what you stand on. They also could be what you fall down on. But understand, beliefs are how you measure what it is you've learned in life and bring with you to the dance. What you got coming with you. And then there's your stance. See, because life has helped and hit me a certain way, and because I have taken a learning about what life should mean at this point, and because of the beauty and the challenge of interacting and engaging with all of you, I got a stance. And see, my relationships is my secret power. I know if you heard about it. See, my relationships are the reason why I can say I have a measure of some sanity and healthy thinking, because I have been blessed to have friends and family who help me keep this in place. My brother Sidney is my ace boom boom boom, we used to say, because that man has walked through all the doors of my life with me, beside me, and behind me. And he's gotten it from me too. We in this together. Come on now, it's an exchange, reciprocity. Come on now. That's why his mama blessed me and took me, despite of my flaws, into her family couch. Because we family in the way that family is supposed to mean. More than kinship, more than blood. Because if you're going to heal, you need some folks to heal with you. Some folks who have gone through what you already need to go through, and some folks who are yet on the way. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't feel me. To get healing in the hood, to work within before you look out, see, you need a team. And see, Bad Bondage was a great individual. But the real difference between Ricky and Barry, Ricky was on some great teams. That's why he ended up with a World Series. Whereas Barry, great individual, he ain't getting no World Series rings. Because at some point, I need y'all. See, leadership understands, yeah, there's times I need to step out and say some things that need to be said. But even greater leadership understands there are roles to be played by all members in order for this thing to really be successful, for this thing to really be effective. I need all of you in your various roles, cheerleaders, backups, pull-outs. Oh, you didn't know that part, huh? Yeah. How do you go check yourself? You don't have somebody to say, hold up, brother. Like my sister Ronald loves to do when I'm giving my sermon. She'll help me slow the pace. If you don't appreciate people like that in your life, then you run into a whole lot of walls. And then you wonder why I'm still unhappy at 65. How come I keep doing the same old thing that I've been keeping on doing? The answer isn't in something out there. The answer is something in here. And it could be a multiple of things. But the thing that matters the most are those three places to start: attitude, beliefs, and stances. One more piece. Can y'all stand me for one more piece? In our relationships, we got to engage, we got to interact, and we got to enhance in our relationships. See, I need a relationship that I can engage in, not one that I get to view at. That's why reality TV is so strange to me, because it's other people's relationships. And I'm supposed to be part of the audience? How is that rewarding? It just ain't never really occurred to me. Relationships that you engage in will reach you. And they'll either be the lesson of what to do or a lesson what not to do. To be with or be without. To deal with or do not go past God. That's a hell of a lesson. And then after the enhancement, when you're in the engagement, then you got to interact. See, our relationships can't be where I'm cool as long as you're doing cool stuff. Right. Remember that statement I said about forgiveness and forgetting forgiveness? See, a lot of us do the lip service of forgiveness. All right, I'm cool with you, but we never forget. And see, really, if you don't forget, then you're still holding that image hostage. I never really, truly see you as something other than the person who did this or that. I know without that, I couldn't have been a good father because my children had enough damage where they could have just held that against me. Let me tell y'all some truths so y'all understand it ain't because I'm so great all my life. It's because I've had lessons learned somewhat the hard way. And in those lessons, if you don't interact, then you never really get to feel your impact. So you never have to be accountable for the things you did. And a lot of us get also uncomfortable and don't want to really hear, but if you don't, then you don't really forgive yourself.
Come on, come on.
I know, y'all that's making me take a turn like that. But understand that's The difference between whether or not you really forgive and forget is can you forgive yourself?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I might not even hear my children forgiving me because I'm still stuck with my own anger against myself.
Yeah.
Now I ain't going into therapy, but understand the healing in the hood is a challenge because of who we are. And the more we can get with ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror honestly, and forgive ourselves for the imperfections that we displayed, then I can work on you. I can look at you. I can accept you. A whole lot of our struggle and our challenge is how much we just don't want to go past the point of our own pain. After you enhance, when you've engaged, and after you enhance, because you're in, then you have to practice acceptance. See, sometimes our stories about who we are and who we think we are, and who we believe we are, we have a little private little secret in the back room about how when we actually stand naked, we don't like what we see. And the divine has given us a beautiful format because the divine loves us as we are, because they have unyielding faith of who we can become. See, I bet you a whole bunch of ministerial lessons out of that. See that potential about who we can become? That's a divine art. We need to activate it in us. So I just don't be stuck with the person I'm seeing in front of me. But I also am enlightened. I'm enlivened. I'm energized by the potential of who you can become. We practice that with the young. We say that to our students. Why we don't do it with each other? What, we stuck in place and we can only be who we are now, today? That's not divine. And we do have the divine in us. That's just not what Mach teaches us. Ain't an age limit. If so, many of us might have missed the mark. That the beauty of who we can become is a grace that the divine bestows. It's the thing that we don't learn a lot from in Christianity. We learn a lot of condemnation. We know how to be judgmental. And it creates a whole bunch of guilt and shame, especially Catholics. But understand, the grace of Ra is that there's a you today, but boy, there can be a better you tomorrow. And that same thing works for me as well as it does for you. It's an exchange. I get to grow, you get to grow, and we get to grow. And we get to grow together. We get to grow in measure, and we can be celebrating that relationship. There are sure a lot of stuff that we could call out. There's a whole lot of things we could say are mistakes, but boy, we can really overcome those things if we focus on that part that is mutually beautiful. That way we don't overwork ourselves. We don't overstress ourselves. See, part of the healing in the hood is to remove that stress. Is to overcome that issue of self-degradation, of self-abuse. We ain't got to worry about other folks doing it to us. Many of us volunteer for it ourselves. And the solution to that is to embrace ourselves. Is to acknowledge, yeah, we got different lifestyles, thankfully. Yeah, we got different personalities, thankfully. Yeah, we got different attitudes. Oh, thankfully. The issue isn't the difference. Come on now. The true power is the Nguzo Saba principle of Umoja. Together, unified, it all works. The word unity is in the word community. And when the community comes together, man, is that so beautiful. I hope y'all hear that in the part. We have way more to celebrate. We have way more to appreciate. And that because of that beauty, because I have that intrinsic belief, I don't give up on you, and I don't give up on me. Oh, y'all don't feel me. I hope y'all really hear me this morning. That the beauty of this woman is the beauty of how large her heart is. And in that heart, that's where our love resides. I say, amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe, Ashe, Minister Molly. Thank you so much for that message. Thank you so much for healing in the hood. Yes. And where we want to get that healing done, where's the first place to get that healing done is within. So if you were listening to this message and something has touched you, something has excited you, something said to you, you know what, I'm feeling this, you know, and you would like to join, we'll say, you would like to be a part of us, please, you can raise your hands, you can open up your mics and say, I'm here. You can put it in the chat, however you want to. This is the time, this is the invitation. This is the time for if you would like to join. And don't let it just stop here. If you think about it during the week, and you say, hey, you know, I think I want to join. It's not just on Sundays you can join. You can go to our websites and join. You can call upon one of somebody within the community, and they can help you to be able to link you up with someone to be able to join. You know, we are a community of the way. We are not a perfect people, but we are people here that are focused on trying to live the life of Ma'at, doing Ma'at, thinking Ma'at, you know, speaking Ma'at. We are focused in that endeavor, and we are trying to do the work surrounding that. We are becoming a community. We are building our people so that our people can grow, and we can establish and reestablish that greatness of our ancestors and elders. So if there's anyone at the moment, I'm gonna scroll through. If there's anyone at the moment, if there's any other eyes on the thing where you guys can see, if there's anybody hand up or anything like that, I just want to invite you to become a part of us at WOSE. We have a lot of things that we are looking to do, that we need people to help with their hands, their minds. So I'll turn it back over to Sister Rana, as I don't see any hands at the time, but you have plenty of opportunity. Wait, I see a comment.
Hey, sister.
Yes.
See a comment that you wanted to respond to? If not, we are going to go forward with Lift Every Voice and Sing. I want to make sure anybody has the opportunity to comment who wants to. Okay, so we're going to go ahead with Lift Every Voice and Sing. And this is, yeah, we're going to do it. That's all right.
Melly, you're gonna close it out. You're gonna close it out. You're gonna close it out.
All right, let's go.
Lift every voice and sing till the heaven ring with the harmony of liberty. Sing a song full of the faith that the darkness has on. Sing a song full of the hope the presence has brought. They sing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
I want to thank the ancestors who truly have come present to bless us. I also want to remind us to be in prayer for Sister Destiny Knox. Also, please include on your powerful prayer chains my brother-in-law Donnell, who is currently in the hospital. My sister, who many of you came and joined in prayer for, is at home. She is doing better.
That's it.
So we are living witnesses to the power of prayer.
That's it.
Prayer warrior, loving mama of prayer, Sister Doris needs our prayers too.
That's it. That's it. Minister Malik.
Need ministering. And this is a time when our prayer warrior, our prayer queen needs our prayers too.
That's it.
Oh, and also to remind you to be in prayer for Minister Malik as well.
That's it.
Ashe.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
So let us all be together, connected, engaged, interactive, and a part of each other's life, where sometimes we may not always appreciate it. One destiny.
One destiny.
One
God.
One love.
One peace.
And one purpose.
One purpose.
And we share it all.
Yeah.
And we embrace it all.
Yeah.
And the one divine entity that's given it all. As we say in one voice.
Ashe. Ashe Amin Ra. Ashe.
Beautiful
People on the face of this earth. Ashe.